James Donkey's slogan is never walk alone. Perhaps for fear of being punched. Did I do it, Steven?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. What's up, guys? We're going to be taking a look at the K619 by James Donkey. It's one of their mechanical keyboards featuring Gateron Brown switches. We're going to roll into this video and have some fun with it. We'll go over a couple things and I'll mention a few things about it. Never walk alone. It almost sounds like a threat. So if you've never heard of James Donkey, consider the fact that now you have. Now, it's typically a Chinese company that sells everything, all instructions, all of that is in the East in Chinese. So hopefully this video can help you out a little bit. If you've got one or are interested in one, you want to know a little bit about it and how it works, we're going to go over some of that right here in this video right now. It's a 104 key, full 10 key layout with double shot injection. When I say double shot injection, take it a little bit with a grain of salt. It's mildly sloppy of a double shot injection, but it technically is double shot injection. So you can expect a good quality, durable keycap that'll hopefully last you a decent amount of time. It's not the typical double shot we see where they completely fill the keycap all the way around in other more high-end keyboards, but it is there. And it also gives an extra yellowy orange backlight to the monochromatic color scheme that this keyboard has to offer. It uses Gateron Brown switches, and I've got to say these Gateron Browns are really nice. They're about as close to Cherry MX Browns as I've come to expect. I love the way that they feel, and of course I'm a bit of a nut for brown switches anyways. Let's pause here real quick and take a listen. I'll compare this with some other keyboards so that you guys have an idea of what it sounds like. The metal chassis itself is actually a brushed gunmetal chassis, and I like that. I think it looks really good. Riser feet are not rubberized in the back, which can be a little bit of a problem. On top of that, they're on a weak hinge system. They're plastic and they feel weak. They come out easily, and I'm just worried that you're going to have issues with those riser feet over time. The keycaps, and this might be more of a small gripe on my part, are a little bit rough. They look like they were broken off of a plastic mold, and you can see all these unfinished edges around them. I think just kind of take away from that quality feel and look to the actual keyboard itself. I kind of wish they would have taken a little bit more time into these keycaps and some other aesthetic sides of the keyboard itself in order to kind of preserve that nice, clean, perfect look. The yellow plastic on the sides look good, but they also look unfinished with some black kind of melted into it, as you can see here in this shot. So something that's really cool is there is a detachable micro USB. This is a big plus in case you wanted to change or go with your own micro USB cable, which I very well may have to the longer I use this keyboard. The more frustrated I get that it's shaped like an L and forces the cable to go in one direction. I don't necessarily like the fact that it's one directional defined. I kind of wish they would have just left it a straight plug-in instead of something like this. It is a 6-foot braided cable that comes with it, which is great. They even did the added inclusion of making them gold plated to make people feel better about connectivity on polling. There are no drivers included with the keyboard, but there is a lot of hot functions on the keyboard to do things like macros and set up profiles. So here seems to be a continuing trend I'm having with some of these keyboards that I've been getting. This one slides very easily on the desk as well, with only 2 rubber feet in the front again. I don't know why some of these keyboards are opposed to putting rubberized feet in the back or rubberized feet on the riser stands. It seems to be just not a thing with some of these keyboards, and it causes the keyboards to slide around. So if you don't have it on something like a giant mouse pad, as I mentioned with another keyboard, then you're going to probably have the issue of it's going to slide around, and typically it's more so on the left side than it is on the right, and that's probably just because I push more with my left hand, causing the keyboard to move across the desk. So here's one gripe with the lighting too before we get too much into that. It does have basic lighting features, things like the marquee scroll, the wave, the lines out. I don't know specifically what everybody wants to call them because it seems every keyboard manufacturer will call their lighting effects something different, despite the fact they're pretty much the same across the board in most of these budget mechanical keyboards. One of the gripes that I have is that the lighting is a little bit dim on some of these and I can't turn it up. However, it's noticeably brighter on things like static. If it's on static light, they're clearly brighter. But on most of the features, it's almost like it goes to a permanent mid-range lighting effect, and I can't turn it up from that. I can turn it down from that and eventually just turn it off, but I can't turn the lights up brighter on a lot of these effects, which is a little bit disappointing. A big plus to this keyboard though is the lighting is even across all keycaps. I didn't notice any diffused looking lighting. It was very even across all keycaps. I thought that that was well implemented and it looked great. I think that there's some minor things they could do to actually improve this 619 model here and actually make it a better keyboard than it is. The kind of cheap plasticky feel on the side, I'm not necessarily a big fan of, but I think the actual keyboard itself kind of stands apart and has its own look, its own style, and falls into place with what James Donkey tends to like to look like, which is that yellow kind of color scheme, that sort of construction yellow color scheme. I do enjoy that. It'd be nice to see if they kind of grew out from that and did something more RGB oriented, or just something that's a white light backlight would be even pretty nice too. Would I recommend this keyboard? It really depends on the price trends. I've seen this thing selling for as much as $74, and I don't know that I would say that $74 is the price that I would pay for this keyboard at all. Small things that could be corrected, the randomly low light that's in the keyboard during some of the lighting functions, and I would just hope that they could emphasize on that and make it a little bit better. It might even be something as simple as a firmware problem. Maybe it's just my model. I'm not really sure, but at the end of the day, pretty cool keyboard. I like it. I like the Gateron Brown switches. Gateron Browns are now on my radar as just as good, if not better feeling than Cherry MX Browns, which are my all-time favorite switches. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. That covers this one for my madness week of doing keyboards. And if you're interested in more keyboards, I should have more coming up, so be sure and stay tuned. Get subscribed and hit the little bell button down there. It looks like a bell, like the Liberty Bell, but not really, because it's just hit the bell button if you want updates. While I go through some of these budget mechanical keyboards, we'll be looking at other ones as well, from 60% to mechanical and what have you. It just depends on what order I release the videos in, if you're interested in that sort of thing. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching this one. Have a great day, night, whatever it is. I'll see you in the next video that I do. Darn it.